another construction video. Today's one is for the Rotating Memoirs die set from Tonic. If you want a more detailed look at the die set and the dies you get in it and the couple of examples, then make sure to check out my up close video of the same die set. But this one is going to be showing you exactly how easy it is to construct it. It's such a cool project. I think you're going to get so much enjoyment out of making them, and plus the recipient is going to really love them as well. So this is the main die set. Obviously, like I just said, there'll be more detail on all of these in my other video, but that's what the main die set looks like. And in the actual main die set, you get absolutely everything that you need to create the rotating memoir kind of Rolodex sort of system. But you can also buy two extra die sets, this one and this one, that give you different shaped flaps that go on the rotating memoir that flip around, and you also get obviously the different elements inside them to decorate as well. So I just wanted to quickly show you those dies, but if you want more detail on them, that'll be in my up close video. And then I'm going to show you just how easy it is to construct one. So actually first I'll show you, this is what it looks like when they're constructed. So it's a really nice structure. I did this one white on white and added a bit of dream drop and stone drop on it just to give it something extra. And then you have all of your, it fits 8 different cards on, but obviously you can decorate them double-sided. I just decorated with colour on the other side. But you can do 16 sides to them if you want. You can put photographs on them. You can do one like this with sort of inspirational quotes and things. You could do maybe you know someone's favourite songs. You could have like song lyrics on it. You could try and make it into some kind of diary system, or you know, all sorts of different things. You could do it like the first I don't know, the first 8 weeks of a little baby's life or something, see how they grow, you know, loads of different things you can do. And it's really, really easy to turn. You just literally turn this clockwise and they all flip around after each other. And you have 8 of them that are all flipping around through as you're turning it. And this entire thing is made of cardstock. I couldn't believe it when I put one together. It's so like sturdy and compact. It feels like something you would have bought, but it's all just cardstock, which is insane. And it just makes such a cool little gift. And for this one I used all 5 of the different styles of tabs that you can get. So this this one is the basic square, which comes with the main die set. Then you can get this one with the tab on it. You can get this one with the sort of parenthesis edge to it. You've got this one with the inverted corners, and then you have this one which has the curve and the little chinked corners, so it kind of looks a little bit like a top of a fancy gravestone or something. But yeah, loads of different shapes that you can use. You can either use entirely the same shape, or you can mix and match the shapes as well. The one I'm going to show you how to assemble, I just mixed 2 of the shapes together for that one, but you can really mix it up if you want to. And it's so easy to make this. I was looking at the die set and I was thinking, this is going to be a challenge to put together, but it's really easy. So I will show you exactly how you put all of it together. So first of all, you want to have everything cut. Obviously this is showing you once you've cut everything, but and obviously I've been decorating this because it's going to be one of my finished samples, and I thought I might as well show you a construction of it whilst I actually have the time to do it, rather than the Rolodex coming out and then someone saying, have you done a construction video, and I haven't, and then it takes me forever. So anyway, so I've cut everything, decorated everything, and it's all ready just to assemble, and you'll see the final result at the end of it. So to make the base of the Rolodex, you need 2 of the largest die that come in that original die set, and you decorate obviously the professional side of both of them, because when you flip them together you end up with the both sides and you get a double strength on the bottom as well. I have also reinforced the sides. It is pretty strong as it is, but the way I've reinforced it is you get a panel that cuts obviously a panel shape to decorate the outside of this, I cut it again from the blue cardstock that I'd used for the base and stuck one inside here, but then I also cut another of this portion from a patterned paper, trimmed that off and stuck that over it to hide that as well, but it just makes this portion really nice and strong then. I think mostly the adding the strength is just so, you know, it'll last better over time really. You can just do it with a single piece of card if you want to as well, but I just thought for insurance of the amount of time that goes into one of these, you kind of want to make sure it's nice and strong. So then you just want to fold all of the score lines and add your tape to all of the glue tabs as well. On each of them you have a long glue tab here, a little tiny triangular one here and two on this end, so you want to make sure they've all got tape on as well. And I've just been using a 3mm red liner tape, so you just want to have all of those scored, and then you are going to be sticking the two bases together as well, so we are going to add some more adhesive in a second so that we can get the bases to stick together. Okay, so you can see just how easy it is to just pre-fold all of the scored lines so that it makes it easier when you come to assembling it. And then the way this is going to go together is we're going to place the two bottoms over each other, and then that's how the whole portion is formed. So I'm just going to use some regular Craft Perfect double-sided tape, and I'm just going to add some of that and then some wet glue as well, just because it means you can wiggle it around a little bit if you don't quite get it in the right place, and it's just going to keep it, you know, really nice and firm. Okay, and then take some Nuvo Deluxe adhesive. Just add a little bit on there as well. Then we just want to place the bottom of the other one on top of this, so we create a complete sort of net for this Rolodex. So just place them directly on top of each other and then press down. So you're basically lining this cut edge up against that score line in there. I'm hoping you'll be able to see how I'm putting this together. It's kind of difficult to put it together accurately and look up and make sure I'm definitely showing it to you, but I hope you'll be able to figure out how to do it. It's not difficult. So to do the next part, you want to take off this little tab here and this long tab as well. And then you just fold this piece round. You see it here, where I've added the patterned paper, I was thinking maybe I should put it together and then put the patterned paper in, but one, I thought it would be quite tricky to get that large piece inside and stuck down properly, and when I was looking at this one that I'd already put together, you can hardly see where the seams actually join. You know, you've really got to try and look inside to see any of the seams, so I don't think it's going to be very noticeable. That's why I already stuck the patterned paper on. So you just want to line up that glue tab there and then pull this round and line it up along that long glue tab as well. And already pre-folding those score lines just makes it so much easier for all of this to come together really nicely as well. Then I want to do the same on the other side. So take that little tab off and this long tab as well. And then you just want to stick that one. The first one I did, you can see I stuck all of the panels on, and I did do that whilst it was flat. But for this one, I've actually just gone and added some glacier paste on there and a little bit of stenciling. Because I've got quite a lot of coloured elements and some that I'm going to put on this as well. I thought I wanted to keep the rest of it quite simple, but you know, however you want to do it. And also you could add your patterned paper panels to it as well. Okay, so that is that portion of it, and we've still got these tabs here. So again, really easy, you just take those two glue tabs off, tuck that one underneath and press that one into place. So you're just lining up the score line with the cut line there, and then this one just bends in slightly and does the same thing as well. And then on the other side, we want to do this exactly the same too, and just pull that one in and then bend that one up and place it on. So that is your basic shape. You can go ahead and add patterned paper inside the bottom as well if you want to, but you can really hardly see inside any of this. It's only sort of these little edge pieces that you're kind of seeing. So you know, you don't really have to decorate the inside if you don't want to, because it is an extra step really. But that is the basic base. And then we want to create our spindle, which is how the whole mechanism works, and this will slot onto here and like click into place so that it's secure, and then will just turn. So obviously I did this one ahead of time so that it was completely dry and nothing was going to fall apart while I'm showing it to you, but I will show you exactly how to put this together as well. So there's going to be a bit of taping going on in here, so I might speed a little bit of the footage up so that you're not watching me put a load of tape onto things. But the basic pieces you need to create the spindle are one of these pieces, which is all in the main die set, and you can see here I've just added a little bit of glacier paste on there. I don't think you're really going to be able to see it, but I thought I'd add it just in case you could. Then you need two of the end pieces, which I have decorated with the little end pieces that come in the die set. I've also put some Nuvo drops in there, and I've added the glacier paste to the card as well. And then to create the whole mechanism thing, you're going to need 8 of the large sort of washers that are in the die set and 8 of the small washers as well. And the way it's going to work is you will create one end of the spindle using this, and these glue tabs will go through one of these. You'll then stick another one of these the other side to sandwich the tabs inside and make sure it's nice and secure. So that requires 2. You need to do that again for the other one, so that's another 2, and then you have to do it for both ends of this piece, so that's why you need 8, because you need 2 for each of the ends of this as well. So that makes 8 washers there. And then the extra 8 smaller washers are for creating this spacer between the 2 larger washers there. So you want a stack of 4 washers in between the 2 pieces to give you enough space to slot this onto the mechanism there. I will probably show you that in a minute, but I just wanted to try and explain why you need 8 of each of the washers. And you might be thinking, that's really annoying, you only get 1 die and you need 8 of it. It's actually not too bad, because when you're especially if you're die cutting all the panels for your actual Rolodex, or if you're die cutting all of the little you know, the insert kind of bits that stick onto it. If every time you run something through your die cutting machine, just make sure you cut one of each side of the washers, and then before you know it, you have enough. You know, so I was thinking, oh, that's going to be so annoying that I need to cut so many of them, but really it wasn't an issue because of how many other times you're passing things through the machine. So now we want to add the tape to everything. So I've been using a mixture of 6mm and 3mm tape. You can just use 6mm on all of this, because it doesn't actually really matter if there's anything overhanging on these tabs, because they're going to be hidden inside and you're not going to tell if there's any adhesive overlapping. So you can just use 6mm for all of this. You want to run one piece along this main spindle portion on the rectangle bit that doesn't have the tabs, because that's how you're going to join it round to this side. And then for the end flaps with the on these bits, you want adhesive along the whole thing. So I'm just going to pre-fold this first, because I think it's going to make it a little bit easier when it comes to snipping between the adhesive on the ends. You can just use your fingers to fold all of the score lines, or if you're using a 300 GSM card like I did with the white one, you might want to bring in your glide folder or your card creaser to get them to fold nicely. But so to add the adhesive on these end pieces, the easiest way that will drive you the least mad is to run a piece of adhesive all the way along there, and the same on the other side. And then we're going to snip between them. So if you hold it like this, snip this diagonal on all of them. And then do the other side as well. Okay, and then flip it over and you can snip in the same direction then. I mean, if you're left-handed it might be the other way around, but yeah, I just find this is the easiest way. I don't usually like doing this because you end up getting all the sticky bits on your scissors, but for this one I think it's like necessary because it's really annoying trying to stick loads of tiny little pieces on. Okay, I ripped the tape off of one of them, so I'm going to have to use that piece. Okay, so that's all of the tape on the main spindle portion, and then we want to add the tape onto this portion too. Again, I think I'm going to pre-fold these so that they're already folded, and the easiest way I was doing it was just to fold all of the tabs under the octagon shape, then fold them all out, and then go round, fold all the side tabs, and then when we've done all the side tabs we'll do the other tabs as well. All of these folds are away from you, and then the end tabs we're folding towards us because that's the way they're going to bend in the end. I'll just fold this one as well. I might not put this one together because I've already finished the spindle, but okay, then we want to add the tape to these. There's not really a quick way of adding the tape to these ones, so what I was doing is taking a longer strip of 6mm and then just placing it on and cutting off each time. It is a little bit time consuming, but it is really worth using the tape, I think. You could use glue if you wanted to, but I feel like you might get in a bit more of a mess because you've got so many tabs to stick down. You know, some of them might start popping up and you'll get, you know, all flustered. But so I think tape is the best way of doing this. And then for those flaps you can use 6mm, but I'm just going to use 3mm because I prefer doing that, but it doesn't matter if any of the tape comes off the ends of the tabs on those because they're going to get hidden anyway. Okay, and then we want to do the 3mm tape. Find the end of it. There we go. Again, I just do the same thing for that. You just pull off a length of it and then keep going round and sticking it on. I just find you drive yourself less mad that way. That is all of the adhesive on all of these. So how we put this together, I will just put one end piece together for you because I have already got the finished one. So you want to take off the tape from all of these little glue tabs here. And then all you want to do is go round and line up the cut line with the fold line of the previous one. I love how this comes together. It's so clever. The way just having that tapered like side makes it into a perfect little knob shape. So we've got that tab there and this one to try and fit in. So if you push that tab down so it doesn't get in the way, tuck this one in and then push that through the gap, you can then pinch them both from the inside to get them to stick, and that is how you create that. So you can see what I was saying, if there was any overlapping adhesive you wouldn't see it because it's hidden inside there and you won't be able to see inside that. Then to finish this off you need the 2 rings. I have been placing the professional side towards the decorated side because that's sort of the outside, just to make a neater finish, and then I'm going to put the other one non-professional side to non-professional side as well. It doesn't particularly matter, it's just, you know, you might as well put the professional side to the edge that people might notice it. So all you want to do is take all of the tape off. It's a little bit tricky because you've got so many little pieces to try and take off, but I mean you have to do this kind of 4 times really, so by the last one you're an expert at taking little bits of tape off and putting the washers over the top of them as well. Okay, so you have all of the glue taken off of all of these tabs. You want to just sort of try and tuck them towards the centre a little bit, and then you want to take the professional edge down, so you've got the non-professional edge showing upwards, and then you just want to line up that octagon shape so that the little tabs will poke through, and you pull the octagon shape down to where the fold line is. And then the way I was doing it is I stick one tab back and then I do the opposite tab, and then, you know, like 4 numbers on a clock, and then you pull the diagonal ones back as well, and that fastens it on really nicely, and you've got the professional edge here too. I was thinking as I was making the first one of these, add a little handle on that. Wouldn't that be a little cute teacup? You could make them into like little decorations as well. I thought that was really sweet. So then you want to sandwich those tabs inside, 1 to make it a bit neater, and 2 just to, you know, secure it all really nicely. So I've just been using Nuvo Deluxe adhesive. You just add it straight onto the second large washer, and then you don't have to line the octagons up, but I find later on it's easier if you do line the octagons up, because it means you can get everything perfectly in the centre. Like when you do the little one, that octagon is exactly the same size, so you can get your little spacer perfectly in the centre. And then to help this stay stuck and dry really nicely, you can use these kind of like little clips, or the little wooden ones, or you can do the magnet trick where you take some little strong magnets, like neodymium ones, and place them either side of the card, and then they'll just pinch it whilst it's drying, and they'll make it stay nice and tightly together. So you can just leave them to dry. Obviously you will have 2 of them done as well. And then to do the spindle, you then want to take that long piece of tape off, fold any excess over, and then just bring it round and stick it to the one right on the other side, and that will fit behind it absolutely perfectly, just lining up that cut line to the fold line and pressing it together. And then you're going to do the exact same things to the ends of this spindle. So we want to take off all of the little bits of tape, and this piece is obviously, it's got an octagon on the end, so it's 8-sided, which is why you have 8 of the little cards that go around it, or you can obviously decorate both sides and have 16 different cards, depending on what theme you're doing it for really. Okay, so again we want the big washer, and you want to put the professional side towards the middle of the spindle. So you want to just pull them in slightly so they're not going to get stuck, and then just place that directly over the top, just like easing it downwards until you get to the score line of where those little tabs start. And then you just want to fold one back and then make sure that that's down far enough, fold the opposite one back, and then do like the four numbers on a clock, and then do the diagonal ones as well. So you end up looking like this, and then you add your glue onto the other side of a large washer, and then stick that on top to keep all of those little tabs nicely stuck down. Again, you can use the little pegs, or you can use magnets, whatever you want to keep that nicely stuck together. And then obviously you'll do that on the other end as well, but then you want to attach these two together once they've dried. So to do that and create a space where it will attach onto the main mechanism that we made earlier, you want to use the smaller washers. So the way, I mean, it doesn't really matter which edge is which for these ones. You can stack them all on top of each other the same way around, because both sides of this are going to get hidden. So you just want to stick them all together, stack up 4 of them. You could do a few more if you wanted to, but 4 seems to be the right amount. And then one more. Like that. So once you've got all of those together, that is now going to be your spacer. So you can bring these 2 pieces back in. When I've been doing this, I have let these bits dry for a little bit longer. But you probably don't need to, I was just being overly cautious. So you want to now add a little bit of glue around the edge here. Take your little 4 little washers stacked together and line up that octagon, because if you're lining up the octagon, you're going to get this exactly in the centre of the larger one, which means it's going to twist really nicely, because both ends will be on the same axis, and you're not going to get it going wonky on one end or something when you turn it. So you want to do that like that. So you've got the little washer on the big washer, and then on this one you then want to add your glue onto the little washer here. And then what I was doing, you just focus on one flat section here and match it up with one flat section here. I just think that looks nicer. And then once you've got them lined up, you can then check that the circle is lined up as well, and then, you know, it's going to look nice from the side. You see that the flat plane follows up the turning knob as well. Then again, I have been leaving this to dry with more pegs around it, just leaving it with like 4 little clips or pegs, and then completely leaving that to dry so it's nice and solid. And then once it is dry, you just take your double-ended spindle and you're just going to slide it onto both of these portions of here, and then when you get it in the right position, it will just push down really gently, just push it down, and it clicks right into place, and then it will now turn really nicely for you. And that is how you create the base of your rotating memoir Rolodex system. So I'm also going to show you how you put all of the cards onto this as well. Obviously, as time goes on, this is going to twist even easier. You can kind of hear, I don't know, this one moves a little bit more smoothly, but I think that's just because I've been playing with it so much. But if you just keep rotating it, yeah, that's getting looser as well. So the more you use it, the more it's going to run nice and smoothly. So for the edges of this one, I also wanted to do this. So this Rolodex, that one is like an art journal kind of inspirational quotes kind of thing. And this one is, I thought it would be something cute to keep little children entertained over like the half term or something. and Tonic just brought out their gnome stamp set, so I thought you have 8 little things, so 1 can be the title and 7 can be the days of the week. So it goes a whole week of gnome activities, and you've got on Monday we do the gardening, on Tuesday we meet up with our best friends, on Wednesday we make a wish in a wishing well, all sorts of things that I was just inspired to do them by the pictures that were in the gnome stamp set. So I'll show you those in more detail in a second, but to go along with the theme of that and make the outside look more interesting too, I also die cut this portion of the rotating memoir, and then I stamped my images onto it, and then used a black pen to add the ground in. So you can, I don't know if you can see, this is actually the die cut edge of the bottom of this, so it will line up absolutely perfectly. And I think I'm going to put that one on this side just because of where I've put the ink blending. She's not going to cover it too much. And I think I might put her on 3D foam actually. I think a little bit of 3D would look nice behind that. So I'm just going to add 3D foam behind. I'll do it behind both of these whilst I've got it all out. Okay, that should do. And then I'm going to stick one of them on this side. Like that. And then I'm going to put the other one on the other side, which has got the little wishing well on there as well. I just thought it would be really nice to bring the design to the outside as well, because the other one I kept really white so that all of the brightly coloured like journaling sort of cards stood out really nicely. But this one I thought it would be really nice to bring the gnomes to the outside as well. And there we go. So that is the finished actual like memory decks or rotating memoir base portion done. And also just to show you, this is, I think it's 240 GSM, the cardstock I used for this one, whereas this was 300 GSM, and even though it's a thicker card you can still use your 300 GSM cardstock, because some construction things you can't get the creases nice enough when you're using like 300 GSM, but for this it works really nicely and obviously gives you a really sturdy base as well. But it's just as sturdy if you use a slightly lighter weight card as well. So I'll now show you how to stick on all of the little cards. So obviously you need your 8 cards. I've got them in the order that I'm going to put them in as well, and then you need to add your adhesive to the back of them. So this tab is probably about 4mm, so I'm going to use 3mm red liner tape. And this previous one that I did, I stuck on with the 3mm red liner tape, and I finished this one 2 or 3 days ago, and that has stayed really nicely stuck. So I'm going to go with that again, because, you know, it seems to have worked really well. So you just want to flip them all over. Oh, and on these ones actually, because I had used my alcohol pens to colour them, you had the colour bleeding through on the other side, and I knew from the previous one I did, you were going to see the back of the card. So for all of these I just cut another one of the little panels out of a patterned paper, like any sort of blue patterned paper that I had, so that it would go with the blue base of my rotating memoir. And I just added it straight on the back just so it makes it look neat as you're rolling it around. So I just thought I'd mention that too. So we just want to add the tape to the back of all of these. Okay, so that's the tape on all of them. Now I don't think it really matters whether you start from the first one or the last one when you add them onto here, but I start the other one from the last card, so I'm going to do the same thing. So I want to go Sunday, Saturday, Friday, Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday, Monday, and then the title card as well. So you just want to start anywhere you want to on the spindle. Just pick one flat edge and then just take off the tape from your card and just stick it on. On this one, most of them I did stick in the middle, but a couple of them I'd left embellishments overhanging the side and I didn't want to have to completely chop them off, so instead I just shifted them. So this one, you can see I shifted a little bit that way, a little bit off to the left, and this purple one I shifted a little bit off to the right, so it's not quite in the centre of the spindle. So however you want to get around adding extra embellishments on the sides, you can. You really don't want to add anything hanging over the bottom though, because it will catch as the whole thing rotates. So then you just want to have your adhesive there. I'm going to put them all in the centre on this one, and you just want to line it up right in the centre of that spindle. And then if you're unsure whether you stuck it too high or low, because this gap is a tiny bit wider, you can just spin it round to check that it's not catching as you go round. So then the next one you want to do on the spindle above, because the order that, oh no, actually, have I done this wrong? No, that's right. Yeah, because I have been doing it so you turn it clockwise. So if I've got Sunday there and I have Saturday here, when they're turning clockwise you would see Saturday before you would see Sunday, which works because that's the order of the week. Okay, so then we want to stick Saturday onto here. You just want to press that down nicely to make sure you've got good contact. And then we want to go Friday. Then Thursday. Wednesday. And then Tuesday. Then Monday. It's spinning really nicely. And then finally we want to add the title card as well, which just tells you that it's a week of gnome activities. Okay, so there we have it. That's our completed rotating memoir. You can kind of hear it, it's hitting it a little bit, but I don't think that really matters. It kind of makes a cool noise actually. And you can see I've actually rotated between the indented corner one and then that sort of parenthesis bracket kind of looking one as well. I think that's just a fun idea, you know, like of keeping children busy over half term or something, giving them a week of activities and they can like help out with the gardening. Then I did meeting up with best friends, making a wish in a wishing well, cleaning the house, giving a gift to the neighbours, having fun and playing on a Saturday, and then telling someone you love them on a Sunday. I just thought it was a sweet little idea, so hopefully you enjoyed that too, and I hope you enjoyed seeing the construction of this as well. But it is so easy to do. They do take quite a long time, but I think they're really enjoyable to make as well, even though, you know, it's probably going to be a good day's hard work to get one of these completely finished, depending on how elaborate your decoration is, and, you know, like what kind of things you're putting on it, whether you're going to put photographs or handwritten stuff, or, you know, all sorts of different things. But I think they're a really cool project that you're going to really enjoy making, and that a recipient is going to really love having it as well. And they're just so easy to do too, which is marvellous. So I hope you enjoyed this construction video, and if you want a more up close look at the die sets, make sure to check out the up close video of this rotating memoir die set as well. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again in the next video. Bye!